live. Okay, I think we should be live. Sweet.
Yep, we are go. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. Good morning,
Good morning.
Harish. Good morning, Simone. How's
Good
everyone doing?
Awesome. We're super excited to have a special guest with us this morning with Simone. And I guess just before we get started and give the floor to him, really excited to have another episode of 1 Billion Builds. Lei and myself, we've really started to enjoy sort of the planning and the execution of this. And so we took a brief 1 week break when we had our community call. And the episode before that, if you remember us dressed up in some interesting Halloween costumes in lieu of Halloween. But the idea is that we'll continue to do this on a weekly basis. And every time we have our community town hall, we'll defer to give the updates on the developer front at that event. So very excited that all of you can join, and of course our two guests actually now looks like Sid from SpiritSwap is just about to join. So the theme for today for this episode is of course Fantom, and we've seen not only I'm sure for those of you who've been following the Fantom token price, I'm still kicking myself that I didn't get in a little bit earlier, but I'm sure you've got a very excited ecosystem, as I'm sure you probably felt during the recent Fantom Developer Conference. So Simone, welcome. Maybe you can give us a quick introduction, and then tell us about the Fantom Developer Conference. Tell us about going to Abu Dhabi. My colleague Jackie and I had the opportunity to do a presentation there, so we'll talk briefly about that. But let's hear it from your end, from actually being there.
Yes, absolutely. So first thing, thank you for having me. It's always great to be coming on these things that you guys do. It's always fun. And I'm Simone, CMO at Fantom. And as you said, we just wrapped up the first Fantom Developer Conference in Abu Dhabi. It happened 2 weeks ago, and it was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. And I've done fun things, so just to give a little bit of context there. No, I mean, all jokes apart, it was extraordinary. Not so much for the conference part. I mean, it's, of course, also for that, but the quality is always quite high in these conferences. But being there in person, it really showed everyone how tight and how passionate the Fantom community is. So it was, it was great meeting those 200 plus people that came, all of them, or most of them very active in the community, so active that, I mean, it really felt like a family, and it felt like we've been knowing each other for a very long time, including, the SpiritSwap team. And Sid, mm-hmm. I missed you for not being there, but, we had
poor guy stuck in Seattle and everyone else is enjoying. I messaged Sid and he was like, I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
I wondered if he drew the short straw for this.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but I wish I could go like next year. So we'll see.
Absolutely. You can't miss it. And actually, nobody should miss it next year if it's as fun as it is this year. Anyway, so I would say, because we can see how the community is active and passionate already online, right? You can see it on Telegram, on our Discord, on Twitter, how they all come together. But seeing how this also translates for real, in person, that was truly, spectacular. I did not foresee anything like that. And, and seeing all these teams working together, my favorite rock stars, the Chidao team, and, Kila and Pablo working with the SpiritSwap team, and all the others that I can't remember at this moment. But it was just amazing to see, and I can safely say that this is unique to the Fantom ecosystem. there's no other community in any other layer 1 network or layer 2 networks that is as cohesive and as helpful to each other and as open as the Fantom community, both on the developer side and on the end user side.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if you've got any questions. I've got one. I was curious to sort of hear, was there any sort of new or innovative project that was either highlighted or profiled that stuck out to you as like, wow, I didn't even realize this was a thing on Fantom. Curious if there's any sort of innovation pieces that stuck out to you.
Let me think about it. Well, I would say actually Art Wallet was quite cool to see. So they're aiming to sort of bridge the gap between the Web 2 and Web 3 in a very seamless way. So to make NFTs and crypto in general more accessible to the general public. And then there's also Overdrive, that is a project that I'm very close to, that aims to revolutionize marketing. So it's a community marketing product that connects brands and projects to their community and incentivizes community to create content. It's super interesting, and as I said, I'm very close to it because I'm one of the original co-founders, but I'm stepping away because of the work at Fantom. But I really suggest everyone to keep an eye on it if it works out. At the moment, we are figuring things out with Twitter because Overdrive uses the Twitter API, so the team has to make sure that it's fine with them and it will work correctly as expected. So I would say that, these two, the reason why I'm excited about, these two just came to my mind, but of course there were so many. But I'm mostly interested in projects and ideas that really open this world that we're part of to the masses, right? So we know how hard can be, DeFi or, even just crypto without even going to the DeFi for regular people, right? Set up MetaMask and, deal with a hardware wallet. And, if not, then you have to safely store your keys. If not, you lose everything. So, all these things are huge pain points for regular users that are used to, oh, I lost my password. Let me click on reset the password and I get an email and it's all good. Worst case scenario, I'll contact support and they will fix it. Well, there's no such things in crypto. So it's really interesting to see how the space is evolving towards a more open and accessible future.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I actually did have a question too, because Harish and I have been talking a lot about hackathons in general opening up to be like less focused on purely developers, which is nice because there's so many people coming from different backgrounds and like even analysts or just anybody with kind of like a different skill set that wants to get involved in all things DeFi. But you said the community really helps each other out, like cooperates. And I was kind of wondering, like, how do you see others helping kind of onboarding people into Web3, or like, how do you involve community members that aren't just developers, but are kind of just like wanting to be there and experience it all?
Yeah, this is a great question. And once again, we have people like that in Fantom. So one example is Devesh. Devesh is this amazing guy, and he's been Fantom community member since a very long time. He's not a developer per se, even though he runs a few validator nodes. So he has technical expertise, but not that kind of that is needed to develop an application. Anyway, so we have a few people like him that can actually give very valuable input that goes back to what you were saying, right? So, okay, what we have developers, okay, cool, but they build stuff. What do people really want? And so I absolutely agree. And once again, I think that maybe also Sid actually can probably chime in on this, because I'm seeing the enormous progress that SpiritSwap is doing, and I'm always very open. I was very open. I'm gonna say it again with the SpiritSwap team. I was like, hey guys, so no offense, but SpiritSwap really set the bar very high for everyone, not just in Fantom. I really think that SpiritSwap is one of the best dexes, bar none, in the world. So there's no sushi, there's no uni, no pancake swap, no anything that is as user friendly or as easy and offers that sort of very fluid and seamless user experience as SpiritSwap. So Spirit, that they're very aware of this and they're doing incredible progress. And I'm super excited about what's coming up for Spirit, because they're in an incredibly talented team, super nice guys. I mean, I love them. It was, once again, great hanging out with them. But Sid, what do you think about it? And what are you guys working on?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the earlier question about like supporting like new people and new projects on Fantom. That's something that has been like our mission, like since we have launched on Fantom. Any new project comes, like this is something that I always say, like on any of these talks, we open a chat with them. Like that's kind of like our first point of contact. We always have an open chat with every team on Fantom. Any help they need, like with marketing, with like with any like let's say they want to get an audit, we connect them with like audit firms. So we're kind of like helping people like get their like step like in Fantom. Plus we have some projects that we incubate as well. So like people have ideas, but they don't have like the time or like feedback or advices. So we have like these incubated projects that we're actually like working on and helping them like build from scratch. So we love the Fantom ecosystem. Like more and more projects coming to Fantom just means like the growth is actually working. Yeah, that's something that I'll talk about, the collaboration and like the new projects coming in Fantom. Coming to Simone's question about what's coming up with Spirit, a lot as usual. So we have what I would say like 4 different parallel things going on. One of them, which is pretty close to completion, hopefully should be out like early next week, is leverage trading. We are calling it ape mode, where you could long, let's say, Fantom or Spirit in like one click. So you put in like one Fantom, you say like, how much do you want to long? And you click ape, and you get like 10 Fantom back in your wallet or something. So that's something which is really cool that we are working with Abracadabra team and Danny to like get that going. That's one. The other big feature that I can talk about is like bridge and different chains. We have multiple different chains like getting integrated on our bridge UI, along with an automated faucet, which should be pretty close to completion as well. So if a new user who wants to jump on Fantom, let's say they move their assets over to Fantom, we will check if it's a new user on Fantom, and we'll send them like 0.5 FTM as like for their initial gas fees. So that's like pretty close to completion. Hopefully you guys get to like hear about it like end of this week. So yeah, those 2 are some of the things that I can talk about. The other 2 are really exciting, and I'm really excited. Coming back to Simone's point, like Spooky has the bar like really high, and like I guess like everybody's trying to like build up to like them. So the other 2 projects hopefully get us closer to them that you're working on.
Awesome. Thank you, Sid. And sorry, I didn't even do a proper introduction, but do you want to share anything else about sort of your role at SpiritSwap?
Yeah, for sure. So I am one of the co-founders of SpiritSwap. We have like 4 core members, and our team has grown up to like 15 people. We started sometime in April, and we are all across the globe. Like we have part-time members, full-time members, and it's becoming like an actual like well-oiled machine. Like we have a virtual office where we like hang out all day. It's called like GatherTown. You guys would have seen like screenshots on our Twitter. Pretty much like it's just like a virtual office, like a Pokemon game, and you have like a character, and you essentially just walk up to anybody and be like, hey, what's going on? Like if you have a question, like everybody's on there. So it's been like really amazing. I've been kind of like doing the partnerships and like collaboration kind of like role for Spirit, along with like helping them with like technical stuff and like making sure like the timelines like match. So those are a couple of things that I work on, along with like some operations stuff as well. Yeah, the team is pretty fluid, like everybody works on everything, but like we have like our focus, and then we help out wherever required.
Very cool. Wow. Sorry,
It's okay. It's just so impressive to me, like in this space, how there's all of these teams with such a global influence. And like in a traditional world, you would expect like 500 people behind that, but it really like there's so many tight teams that are just so efficient and your reach is so huge, like because everything's virtual and it's just like crazy to meet the people behind it all and to like, yeah, see that all of that comes out of a tight core group actually.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Like the decentralized actually is taking it like for projects as well and teams as well. Like we are decentralized over the globe is what we call. So it's been pretty amazing.
Just taking a look on YouTube, somebody did ask this question. I figure it's a fair one. I mean, I think we're quite familiar with you guys, but for those of you who aren't familiar with Fantom, just to understand some of the things that make it different from other projects like maybe Solana or Cardano or Avalanche in the space. So maybe can you give us sort of what's the pitch for Fantom?
Sure. So Fantom is an EVM compatible layer 1 network that is built on an ABFT consensus mechanism. That's sort of the secret sauce of Fantom. This makes it kind of similar to Avalanche. Also Avalanche uses an ABFT consensus. And this ABFT consensus allows for transactions to be to have almost instant finality. So the finality on Fantom is an average of 1 second. And they cost very little compared to what people are used to on Ethereum. So on Fantom, transactions, depending on the type of the transaction, they go from a fraction of a cent to a few cents of a dollar. So that's a huge, huge difference. And also, when we compare it, I always compare Fantom to Avalanche because it's really the closest layer 1 networks. At least until Avalanche gets the subnets, then they become a little bit more different. But for now, they're very similar. However, Fantom fees are still much cheaper than Avalanche. So certain things can become quite expensive on Avalanche, especially if you, for example, we've seen with Geist on Fantom. Geist is an Aave fork. And that's it's not super optimized for gas, so gas can get kind of expensive on Fantom with Geist. They also deployed on Avalanche, and it's called it's either them or an affiliate team, but it's the same product. It's called Blizz, and if you interact a lot with these products on Avalanche, it can get quite expensive. Of course, not as expensive as on Ethereum, but way more expensive than Fantom. So I would say that Fantom has hits that nice spot fees wise between Polygon, that is super cheap, but is also layer 2, so it's dependent on Ethereum and depending on the Ethereum liveness and security, and Avalanche. When it comes to Solana isn't EVM compatible at this moment, so it's very hard to make comparisons. The beauty of Fantom is that one, right? That anyone can come from Ethereum or from BSC, from Polygon, and deploy on Fantom because it's again EVM compatible, so they can use Solidity or Viper to write their applications. On Solana, they have to use Rust, so it's very different language, and things need to be adapted. And one more thing is also MetaMask, of course. Fantom works with MetaMask as well. Solana doesn't. Cardano, I don't have an opinion about Cardano as of yet. I haven't used it, and I'm really not sure the status of the development on that one. But just looking at the numbers that Fantom is pushing through, it's incredible, right? We have, I would say, every day between 60 to 70,000 daily users on the network. We have an average of 700,000 transactions per day. These are staggering numbers. No other, very few others layer 1 networks can have these numbers. So it's very exciting. But once again, I would go back to the real secret and the real sort of magic component of Fantom, which is the community, both the community at large and the developer community. again, super, super open. As Sid was saying, they're always open to collaborate with each other, even if they're potentially competitor projects, but it doesn't matter. They come together and work for the better of the network and for the better of the end users. So this is truly, truly unique.
Yeah, touching on the community part that you mentioned, like that's one of the things that we really love. Like let's say in the last like 4 or 5 months, there were like a couple of like vulnerabilities with like different teams with their smart contracts. Like the whole community came together and like tried to like help them out. Like, hey, these are the steps that you can like do. This is something that we could pursue. So that was awesome to like see like they were not like blaming the project or something. Like they all came together to like help the project. So Doom Finance was one. Like when Reaper had something, like everybody came together. So it's been amazing. And I'll give like a small alpha. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but this is something I don't even think Simone would know. All the top protocols on Fantom are coming together for something special. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be huge. Something that we're working on.
I know that it's mind blowing. I mean, let's wait for it. You know, when I was told the other day, I was like, yeah, speechless.
Awesome.
It's
awesome.
incredible.
You can't drop phrases like that here and then not ask us to say. Can you tell us anything?
No. We can't say anything right now. But when you'll see it, and you will basically confirm everything that we said. Sid and I up until now, how the developer community comes together. It's unbelievable. Yes.
Awesome. Yep.
All right. Well.
Turning my notifications on.
on that note, that's awesome, and thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing. And of course, the Covalent API supports both the Fantom testnet and the mainnet. And I know SpiritSwap, you're also using the Covalent API, and we're really excited to be supporting both the network, the projects like SpiritSwap, and hopefully even further engagement with the developer ecosystem. So if there's any way we can continue to be involved, to provide support, run workshops, we are always happy to do that for the Fantom community. Because yes, even in just the brief time that my colleague Jackie and I got to present virtually at the developer conference, just the feedback and the passion of that community is quite amazing, and we love to be a part of it.
Wow. Thank you, Harish. Always a pleasure. And, thank you for the kind words.
Awesome. You both are welcome to stick around. I know, Lei, we shipped something yesterday, I think, right? There's some news about something that we deployed yesterday. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, probably nothing, as they say, but we officially launched version 3 of our API Docs. Which has been huge and something we've been working on for a really long time. So it's really exciting to finally get it out the door, because I feel like we've had to get things to for quite a while. Just on that, like a bit of background, Covalent has only been a company for about 4 years, and this is version 3 of the docs. Version 1 was like a static site. Apparently, Ganesh said we had less than 5 customers when everything started out, and it just looked like GitHub basically. And then version 2 was our big change where we made everything interactive. So you could like make calls from the browser, and we like updated all of that fun UI within, and you could go and scroll through all the endpoints, had more educational components. That was like super successful, and everybody really liked it. Our docs has always been something that I think has kind of made us like unique. But it's just like, we want to champion that so hard and keep going and keep pushing. And actually, like on the topic of community, because of the Alchemist program and everything that has like grown Covalent so hugely to different areas of the world, like we have so many people that English isn't their first language, or they're trying to onboard their friends into Web3. Or like they just come from different backgrounds. We've had like researchers coming in, popping up using our API. So to kind of like take all of that in and try to cater to that more going forward, this is all like what version 3 of the docs is about. So I'll give you like a little I'll just share my screens and
Yes,
show you.
show us. I think
Yeah,
talking about it is
show.
exciting, but I think when you show it, it becomes more real here.
Here we go. Where are we? Sorry, I have like 50 screens open all the time. There we go. Yeah, so if you've been following us for a while, you would have seen the old docs were like black and pink. So it's a little bit, I mean, I thought they were slick, but this looks great because it's actually easier to read. So it's the same bar over here. Like you'll still have your class A endpoints, your class B endpoints on the side. So nothing as much has changed in that realm, but this new like nav bar at the top, this is all of the global settings. So this is what we're talking about with like basically making the docs experience a little bit more easy and user-friendly. So you can preset like your chain ID. If you work on one chain frequently, you can just globally apply this to all the endpoints you'll be using. Then you have like a list of currencies too. You can preset this to show like all of the responses in that quote currency. This is super cool. We came out with analyst mode. So basically, if you go to analyst mode, and if you were to make some of these calls in the browser, you could get like a table response like built in here. So I don't have like my key connected, but essentially you'll be able to get, we had the CSV option before, but now like you'll just be able to scroll through a table in here. So for people that have kind of like a research mind and they want to make really quick little insights on something they might have seen on Twitter or something happening in the market, that's like really useful because it's a format that a lot more people across the world are really used to, not just developers. So we're looking to expand on a lot of these features too. And then we also came out with the Russian, Korean, and Chinese translations. So those are just the communities that we're starting with, which is great, but those are like some of our biggest communities. Those are huge in crypto in this space. So we wanted to like cater the experience then. And we've actually enlisted the help of our alchemists to help with a lot of the translating, and they've been incredible. Like I've been speaking to Anadi, who's our technical product manager, and he was saying that we had like a paid translation service. We have multiple people helping with this, but he was like, the alchemists have by far been the best. Like they're the fastest, they go the hardest, they do everything like really accurately, and yeah, they get our values, which is amazing. So this really is like a big moment for us, but it's also just the start because we want to add way more languages. We have a lot of cool features to the API itself coming out in the next couple weeks. And yeah, we're still working on student mode. So as part of that kind of like educational process, making this whole experience like as user-friendly as possible is going to be huge for just like, we're seeing so many people just come into Web3 wanting to learn, but it's hard to find the right resources. And you don't want the community to be intimidating. Like we want everybody to work together, as we've all kind of mentioned. So student mode's going to be big as well. Lots of exciting things happening. And you can expect us to be getting things out the door a bit quicker too. We're committing now to doing product launches the second Wednesday of every month, because we've had so much stuff that we've been working on, and it's always like right under the surface. So we're just going to be like pushing. So yeah,
it'll be the monthly ship it days that we're launching here, which is going to be super exciting. So Leigh, if I could sort of summarize, maybe you can just have that screen back up. We've added in these global settings. So as a developer, you can sort of lock in the Fantom mainnet or testnet. You can lock in your currency, and then of course, sort of 4 major languages that we're sort of launching with many more being added. There are a couple of other nuances here that I think if you sort of dive in and explore, you'll get an appreciation for. I mean, there's give a shout out to guys like Nadia and Clayton on our end, who've done much of the heavy lifting to build this up, and Rohit, of course, our lead designer. But yeah, definitely encourage everyone to check it out. There's even little sort of template selections that you can make. So for example, if you want to test out the balances endpoint, we actually have a couple templates that autofill all the parameters for you. And you can just simply hit the try it live, and you will get the response. So you can basically use this right out of the box with very low friction. You mentioned the student mode, and so I know just like Simone and Sid kind of dropped a little subtle hint of what might be coming ahead, but didn't give us too many details. Maybe we can repay that favor. But I will comment that the idea behind the student mode is sort of having this overlay where you would have the ability and a template to create a wallet on Fantom, and everything is sort of pre-populated, and you're able to sort of dive into the code, and we kind of guide users through that experience to understand the underlying data, understand, some of the different parameters, everything from like the, the balance, decimals, weigh, all that kind of stuff, which is, I think, a great part of the education that's required in the space as more Web 2 developers get onboarded into Web 3, and also the ability to sort of create a DEX and have a template that folks can use and explore some of the endpoints that I know the SpiritSwap team has been using. So yeah, very, very exciting as the evolution of this, and you'll start to see this on a monthly cadence, as Lei mentioned, and we're really excited about that.
This is amazing, guys. I love the docs, or I love the old docs, but this looks really clean, and I interact with them like pretty often. So This is awesome, and having the table view is really helpful because every time I get like that CSV, I need to like copy it over and like do this and do that. I was like, okay, now this makes sense. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of the concept for analysts to be able to take, a CSV file, use it in their tool of choice, just reduce the friction for people to go through that workflow as well.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time copying CSVs. This was my intro to the API docs. I was like helping with our analytics kind of branch, Alpha Alarm. We publish like DeFi visuals on Twitter. I'm no longer that involved with it, but that's how I started out. And it was so much, like it was great using the docs, and I kind of couldn't believe that I was able to, but like, yeah, the copy and pasting into different windows and then the cleaning and like just basically a lot of little time consuming things that we're aiming to clean up a little bit and have it all in one place. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that demo, Lei. Anything else on the API docs you want to mention, or any questions, Simone or Sid, from your end about the new docs?
They look great. I mean, it's really, yes. When I look at them, I was like, we should do something about our Fantom docs, because I'm actually the one that sort of maintains the documentation that we have in Fantom, but it's definitely can be improved. And when I see that, it's I'm very, as I said before, I'm very always focused a lot on user experience, and that really beats it. So let's see.
Awesome. Well, if you ever need any sort of feedback or tips or anything, we're happy to connect you with our team that can walk you through what we did on the user experience side.
For sure.
Yeah, we do. Just one last thing. We actually have an ongoing hackathon internally to help actually build out the docs. So those templates that we talked about, like having those preset use cases, we're getting a couple alchemists to help with that too, and like just come up with creative things that we can include. But yeah, you got me thinking of like we could have like a docs-a-thon or something like that. That could be cool.
Yes.
So that's a pretty good segue, Lei. And I'm just curious, Simone, is there anything that our community should be aware, at least over maybe I know it's coming up to the holidays here, so it's probably going to be winding down, but any sort of events that we should keep an eye on for that either Fantom's going to be a part of or hosting? And if nothing right now, that's totally fine. Is Discord the best way for them to sort of stay in touch and be able to see what's coming up?
Yeah, not at the moment. As I said, we wrapped up this huge event, and so
exactly.
So I think it's gonna.
Everybody needs a little break. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but stay tuned. I would love. So something that I forgot to mention, what we seen during the conference in Abu Dhabi was something that you guys would love, because the Chidao team did an impromptu hackathon. And I had talked to the team organizing the event to actually make also an official hackathon. I was like, there's not enough time. Let's do it next time. blah 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 blah. The day the moment that I
Developers
saw,
are like, screw it, we're just gonna do one.
yeah, man. The moment that I saw Keel, I was like, hey man, shall we do it? It's like, let's do it. So it was completely improvised, no structure, no planning, and he put it together, and it was amazing. So
Awesome.
so really love that. So on the following up on that, I think that I'm always up for doing this sort of events for Fantom as well, because they're super creative. They're a lot of fun for people that participate, and as we've seen also with the hackathon that we did together, there's some really cool products that come out. So yeah, so let's see. Again, nothing is planned for now, but I would say in the new year, let's absolutely do something.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
coming to your question about events and like if anything new is coming, there is the Bitcoin conference coming up in Miami in January. So that's something that the community can like look forward to.
Yeah, the BTC Miami. So I think a good part of the Fantom community will be there. Not so much at the conference, but they're going to use the conference as a sort of an excuse to get together once again. I know the Spirit, you guys are coming, and I'm not sure yet. It depends on a few things, but that it's going to be fun. So if anyone that is listening, that is watching this, wants to come and out with the Fantom people, come over to Miami during the BTC Miami conference. Yes. Oh, you're going to be there, Lei?
It sounds like a terrible time.
I've been having such bad FOMO of like all of these conferences going on. It's just brutal lately. Like, especially since we're in Vancouver and it's the rainiest place on earth. So Harish and I have both been like just tunneling through the darkness and seeing all this fun stuff happening.
I think Leigh's gonna lose it if she doesn't get to some sun soon. Like, I'm starting to really worry about her.
Yeah. So I'll probably come, maybe. I don't know.
Perfect.
I'm looking at Decentral in Miami too, coming up this month actually. So yeah, a couple of cool things going on.
Awesome. Let me just quickly share this screen here. So Leigh, you mentioned the Alchemist Unleashed hackathon, which is ongoing right now. And so the idea here is to create a bunch of templates, leverage the new API docs to be able to come up with some templates that sort of demonstrate what you can build with these with our Class A endpoints. So that's coming up, I think mid next week or early next week is when that's going to close. We just wrapped up the Gitcoin cross-chain hackathon, which went really well. So we'll be announcing the results of that mid next week. We still have one of our bounties, or a couple of our bounties from the 1 million RSK campaign continuing until early next week. And then next week, we also have the Polygon BUIDL hackathon starting up. And if you guys are interested, definitely check out the links on this Notion page. So lots going on. And in terms of what's coming up, let's just maybe highlight the governance forum that we've got set up. I know it's something that on the likes of the DAO, it's been talked about, but we do want to mention a couple of either proposals and also as a venue for where to raise issues or any sort of feedback, at least with the API. So Leigh, I don't know if you want to show the governance page and maybe just talk us through what's there and how folks can contribute to help expand and build within this our ecosystem.
Yeah, sure. So we've been using I'll share it. We've been using our governance forum a lot more lately, because as we're kind of progressively decentralizing, we've been wanting to put votes to the community for a while and kind of like actually include you on a lot of the big decisions that are coming up. So there's different channels. This is the governance forum here. So currently we actually just put out an announcement for our next proposal, which is going to be to index Ronin, Axie's chain. So we're super excited about that. A lot of these are brought up by alchemists. So this one was brought up by Zoran X. He's a really popular person in the community. You can actually see it on the side here. So basically it looks like this. Our last proposal was super successful. It was to index Harmony, brought up by another alchemist that wanted basically us to index them so she could use that data in her projects. And yeah, I think we got like 11 million votes on our first one, which was super exciting. I voted. I was like, wow, cool. Yeah, so you can expect, I think, early next week, a couple more announcements, and then there's a few different phases of voting. So there's like the first vote and then the official snapshot vote. And yeah, Pratik from our team is the one that's kind of championing the governance on our side. But as Harish mentioned, there's different ways that we're using this forum. So not everything goes to that grand scale of a vote. This is also just a place for feedback in general. So in the development section, we're using this a lot more on the product side to request new features to the API. So this won't be like a situation where it needs to be posted all over socials and go to like a big on-chain vote. It's more just like an archive for everybody to see the demand for things. Like if a lot of people are requesting the same features, we want to have that viewable somewhere, because Discord gets a little bit messy, and you've probably, if you've been in our feedback and support Discord, that's kind of always the case. We're like answering things rapid fire, but we don't just get to go back and see it all. So yeah, please, if you have feedback for the API, check out the development section of our governance forum, and you can make suggestions like this. And yeah, we hope to kind of separate the bug stuff and the exciting features a little bit more, so we can kind of like focus and actually respond and get those things out the door, and you can see what we're doing too, because we're like always working on it, but you don't necessarily see any of that. It's just kind of like things get fixed and it happens, but you don't necessarily know. So we're aiming to fix that a little bit more, and just give you like a better window kind of into the API team here and everything that they're doing.
Yeah, so I think you highlighted the key point. On Discord, there's multiple channels where we get a lot of feedback, and we've got an outstanding community that helps try to answer a lot of those. This is effectively funneling everything into one place so that there is accountability, there's traceability, and we can also get the community's feedback on what might be prioritized as the improvement that folks want to see. So it's going to be our go-to page for product related feedback requests, as well as any issues that come up. We can address them through this forum. So pretty excited to be using this a little bit more diligently than we've been using in the past. So that's going to be exciting. And that way, if you're not getting answers, you can also hold us accountable and make sure that we're staying on top of things that we promise. Awesome. So I think that that covers most of the things that we wanted to highlight. Maybe just before we wrap up here, anything with respect to the DAO, the Alchemist DAO, Leah, that you want to mention? I know you covered a few things that's been worked on by them, but any updates there?
Yeah, the DAO is officially like really getting in gear and kicking off, which is exciting. We launched the Alchemist DAO like officially mid-September. So it's been basically the whole month of October it was a hard transition, actually. It's hard to go from something that like has such a clear process and functions so well, and then basically like give everybody a stake and ownership. And that is the right thing to do, but like getting everybody to actually gel and like understand how to raise issues and work together, and just kind of like be in their best roles it's like a big shuffling act that took some time, but it was really exciting to see, and we all learned a lot. And honestly, the community is much stronger for it, I think, now. Like everybody acts as a leader, which is really impressive. So on that note, we actually had our first Alchemist DAO community call yesterday, which was great because we got to see like updates from all of our different guilds. And on the topic of this call, the developer guild is like officially up and running. All of the Notion pages for Alchemist DAO are completed and their processes are set up now. So there's clear structures of who's handling what, who the leaders are, how you can get onboarded, all of that. They've put a ton of work in, and it's just been like really impressive to see, because we like this liaison between Covalent and Alchemist DAO has been so back and forth, and we've been trying to understand them and they've been trying to understand us. And it's really great to like see it all come together. And especially the developer guild, can't wait to see what they're building. I know of a couple projects already, but there's just so much opportunity there. So if you want to be an alchemist, if you already are and you didn't know about that guild, like go check out the Alchemist DAO Notion pages. You can access all of that from our Discord. And yeah, go see for yourself. It looks great.
Maybe the takeaway there is that, decentralizing things is hard, as I'm sure Simone and Sid can also attest to. You lose some of that control, and there's obviously benefits in doing so, but lots of fun challenges as well. Let's put it that way. Awesome. Thanks for that update, Lei. I think that kind of brings us to the end of this session. So I don't know if there's any additional questions either from you, Simone, or Sid. I'm just taking a quick look on YouTube here, but we've really enjoyed having both of you on. Thank you so much for taking your Thursday morning to spend it with us here.
Of course. Thank you again. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
This is amazing to like just come together like once in a while to like talk about updates and stuff. So this is great.
Cool. And go hammer our API docs and definitely give us feedback on what we can do better there.
For sure. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you both too, virtually like this.
Same here.
Hopefully in person soon.
Miami.
I think Lei's going to book her ticket right after this call.
I might. I've been looking. It's a rainy day today. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.